guys, Sean C. Phillips here, and I just got out of seeing the midnight screening of The Hunger Games, and it was busy. The theater I went to, all 6 theaters were sold out. Now, a lot of people know about this movie. You know, I know it's considered kind of like hyped, kind of like the Twilight movies, because of the books. I actually have never read the books, and I really didn't know a whole lot about the movie until I saw the trailer. You know, whenever they first showed the trailer. I do remember at Comic-Con, though, they were giving out a lot of free things like posters and things like that for the movie, but at that time I had no idea what it was, and truthfully, when I first saw, you know, the posters and stuff, I thought it was some kind of like a dragon movie or something. I was like, oh no, another like dragon type film, but no, that's not what it was. And you know, I only saw the first Twilight movie. I really never cared about them. You know, I like the Lost Boys and things like that when I want to watch a vampire movie. So, I mean, there's nothing really wrong with the Twilight movies, just never was my thing. This, though, on the other hand, was a pretty cool movie. The basic idea, though, was the world, basically, it's in the future, and the world is in these different districts. I think it's 12 different districts. Now, I think if I read the book, I would understand a few other details about it a little bit more. Like, one thing I wasn't totally sure was there seemed to be, like, a rich part of the district. Like, I don't know if it was part of the district. Basically, you know, here's the basic idea, though. There's 12 districts, and in every district they pick 2 people, a boy and a girl, aged 12 to 18. They basically have a drawing, and they basically force them to fight to the death, and then basically there can only be one person left. And then the idea, the main girl gets picked, her sister gets picked, and she's like, no, I volunteer for the Tribune, or whatever she says. So she ends up, you know, going instead of the sister, because the sister would die if she ended up doing it. But the basic thing is that there was kind of confusing, was I was trying to figure out, because there was when they would go on, they went on the train to basically, like, where the rich people were, and that was the only kind of thing I was trying to figure out was, how did you end up being one of the people in the rich aspect part where they were all kind of dressed up like, they kind of look like, a little bit like Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey, but with sort of white makeup. If you remember the future scenes in Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey in the beginning, they kind of had that look mixed with Total Recall, mixed with Back to the Future 2, and that was kind of the futuristic look of, I guess you would say, the rich people. But the districts, see, I think if I read the book, I'd understand it, because the districts that the girl was picked from, they were miners. So they were all very poor, didn't really have food. So I don't know what the other districts look like, if there was any of those districts that were kind of considered the more wealthier districts. See, that's the kind of stuff I think, if you read the book, it might have explained some of that. So I wasn't totally sure about some of that stuff. But basically, when they have a television show, it's kind of like, if you've seen the movie Battle Royale, it's a little bit like that. The only difference is with Battle Royale, they put those things on their neck and force the kids to fight to the end. This is a little bit different. They don't have anything like that on them, but they get sent to I guess you'd say, the rich part, or whatever you consider that to be. And basically they get trained and mentored in fighting and things like that. So when they're there, they get trained by Woody Harrelson, and Wes Bentley from American Beauty was in this, but Woody Harrelson teaches them things, and Lenny Kravitz was in this movie, and I don't know if I've seen him act before, but he actually did a really good job, and they basically get trained and things like that, and then they end up getting sent out to fight to the death, and what they get sent into is pretty much kind of controlled. So I think it's almost like a man-made woods. And I don't know if it's a real woods or a little bit like the Truman Show, but they basically can control things, so they can, like, cause weather differences and all those kind of things. And, you know, and if they leave a certain area, they can cause things to happen. I think this is one of those things where if when you read the other books, because I think there's 3 of them, it would explain more to this. I don't know. I really did like this a lot, though. Like I said, though, it's one of those things that's a little bit, it's not confusing, but you have a lot of questions, and you just sort of are wondering, how do you become part of that group where everyone's dressed, you know, with those weird looks and the futuristic styles, and has money and all that stuff? How do people become in that group? And that was just the only thing I was kind of wondering, was how that kind of thing happens. And if the only way to be part of that group is the people who win, you know, to the end, and that was their kids. You know, there's just a lot of stuff like that I was curious about. But as a movie, though, it was pretty well done, I thought. You could tell, though, that they cut this really fast, like the scenes when people were getting killed. They cut it real shaky and really fast to get away with the PG-13 rating. Because I think if they would have shown without the shake and without the quick cuts, it would have been rated R for the death sequences. Because they actually had some practical like gore and things like that. And I hope when they put out the DVD, they have... they couldn't really be able to make an extreme version, but more like just an uncensored or unrated version that just, slows that down a little bit and, doesn't like quick cut it. Because that was the only complaint that I had. And I know they had to do that to get away with the PG-13 rating, but that was the only thing about the movie that was a little bit annoying, was when there was like the things like that. It was all sped, weird, and sort of shaky. But as a movie, though, it was good. It was a little sad in some parts. The whole idea, I thought, was pretty well done. I thought Battle Royale did it a little bit creepier in a few parts, and a little bit, but I don't know, all in all, I really thought this was good. Definitely think it's worth checking out. Like I said, I know this is kind of considered like a trend film, kind of like the Twilight movies and some of that stuff like that. But like I said, I never got into this. I just thought the movies looked like something interesting. I like these kind of movies. It had a little bit of feeling to like The Running Man. Like I said, that one movie, if anyone's seen it, really low budget, but it was good. Slashers, where it was a game show where they get killed, and they kind of similar. It was kind of similar to all those kind of things, the Battle Royale films, things like that. And, all in all, though, like I said, I thought it was definitely worth seeing. Not absolutely amazing, but good. I thought definitely 4 stars. The music, too, a couple sequences of the music, and I know this is kind of a weird reference, kind of reminded me a little bit, and especially one point, like specifically, reminded me a lot of the score to Flowers in the Attic. And I know that's a really old reference, but for some reason it had that same kind of vibe to it. But anyway, though, I really thought this was worth seeing. I liked it a lot. Like I said, I didn't follow the books. Never really been a big reader. I've always really just loved to see the films and experience everything. But I definitely think this is worth checking out. It's going to be busy as shit this weekend, I can tell you that. So you may want to wait a week or so, or try and go during the week. But I would definitely, like I said, give this 4 stars and definitely think it's worth watching. And hopefully there'll be like an unrated version of the movie, because I'm sure a lot of stuff had to get cut. Anyway, though, thanks a lot for watching, for subscribing, and I'll see you guys later.